Another week, another step in my MRT or moral recognition therapy. All right, this is step 3. Last week I presented step 2 for you and I passed, so moving on to step 3. And I will give you the format as to how it was laid out in the group of my peers in the same MRT program. This is step 3. Starts off by one of my colleagues or allies or peers in MRT reading the opposition. Step 3 is on acceptance and the opposition. People in opposition are quite similar to those in disloyalty. However, those in opposition are somewhat more honest about it. They pretend less. Those in opposition tend to blame society, the rules, or the unfairness of others for their problems and state in life. They are in open opposition to establish order. They tend to be rigid, unadaptable, and are more confrontational, hostile, and openly manipulative. Constant conflict is often seen. Moral judgments come from pleasure, pain, and reciprocity. I'm going to learn that word one day. Now, moving on. Then my peer asked me, what's the essence of stage 3? And I say acceptance. And then he asked, what's the stage in 3? And I say it's opposition. So acceptance and opposition. The essence of step 3. At some point, you must begin to see the world as it is and that your problems are not the fault of the world. Your beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors are the problem. Step 3 is all about an acceptance of this reality. Then they ask me, can you please read step 3 in I statements? Where I read, I must become adaptable to circumstances and conditions in which I find myself. I come to understand that my beliefs often get in the way of my unhappiness and that I must learn how the world operates. I must learn that there is wisdom in following the rules. Then it goes to a format of worries, wants, and needs, okay, which I fill out. And it's written on a whiteboard behind me. I'm standing in front and presenting this. Number 1, so these are the 3 worries, wants, and needs. All right, and this varies by individual, of course. Mine are pretty straightforward and simple. Number 1, money. Number 2, family. Number 3, housing. Now, in the second box, I go through the 1, 2, 3 as to money, family, and housing, as to what you want to happen with each. List them below. All right, number 1, money, make more. All right, for resources, time, opportunities, and possibilities. Number 2 was my family, to regain trust with my mom, my sister, my niece, and my nephew. Make amends and forgiveness from them and to myself, which was kind of like in step 1 of MRT. Why? Because I love them. 3 was housing. Have stable and consistent housing. Now, going to the third stage of this, let's make an assumption. This is how it reads. Let's make an assumption that you believe you will be happy if you get what you want. As the final part of this exercise, you should consider why you believe you need the above to be happy. What is it about these things that make them relate to your happiness? Now, happiness for me, I'll get into it, but it's pretty straightforward. So, number one, why would making more money make me happy? Well, money doesn't equal happiness, but it does provide opportunities, resources, and reduces anxiety and worry. Does it make you happy? No, but I've had money in the past, and I've also been broke in the past. And I'll tell you this, that having money is way more beneficial than not having money. It's way better to have it than not to have it. Does it present you with true happiness? No, of course not. But as mentioned, it provides you more options, opportunity, reducing worry and anxiety. Okay, number two was family. Well, again, doesn't mean happiness to me, but here's what I presented in the group. I feel it's an obligation for myself, an obligation, my responsibility and duty, not necessarily for happiness, but relief of my guilt and shame, to make amends to my family, my mom, my sister, my nephew, and my niece. My daughter, she's super cool, so and we have a very, very beneficial and clear, open, honest, and accepting relationship. But number two ties into number three when it comes to my daughter, and I'll go more into that. And also, to fill to the main point of number two, because it would relieve me of guilt and shame, but also because I love them. Simple, straightforward. Number three, housing. Now, why would housing make me happy? Well, it's a basic need for security, stability, reducing worry and anxiety, freeing up time for focus and energy. So that's my mental, provides confidence. Plus, you're expected as a member of society to have stable housing, adulting. Okay. Yeah. So to fit into society. Now, would that make me happy? Yeah, it would. It would. Now, a bonus point on this housing. Not long ago, my daughter had mentioned to me that she would like to foster more of a relationship with me coming up into her high school years. And I'm like, phenomenal, great, let's do that. Let's do that. I'm all on board with that. So housing is now an extra benefit and motivation for me to provide safety, security for her as well. Extra motivation. Now, after that, my peers get to ask me questions like, why is money important? Why is family important? Why is housing important? But all of those are pretty basic and simple, so I wasn't given too much opposition on those. Then, the facilitator of the meeting asks me 5 questions. Now, 5 questions. This may be the tricky part, but again, this is pretty straightforward. Before the vote is taken, now remember, keep in mind that my peers also in this MRT class vote on whether I pass or not. So the answer to these questions also hinge on the 1, 2, 3 that I went through before. Now, question number 1, have I been following the rules? Well, yes, I have. Number 2, have I been using drugs? No, I haven't. Number 3, have I been arguing? Nope, no, I have not. Number 4, was, have I been trying to control things outside of my control? No, I haven't. I've been regulating myself and controlling myself to the best of my ability. So, yes. Or no, I haven't been trying to control things out of my control. And the fifth question was, will you agree to follow the rules of the program? Yes, I will follow the rules. Now, when I pass step 3, I move into the stage of uncertainty. Now, here is a caveat and the end part to step 3. Also note that you must maintain exemplary group and personal behavior from this point on. Rule infractions or bad attitudes about rules, relationships, or situations indicate non-acceptance and will send you back to redo any or all steps at any time. Interesting. Noted. You must demonstrate through your attitude and behavior that you are able to admit when you are wrong and you are willing to face the consequences of your actions. You must also commit to the following all 3 rules of the program. Thus, the answers you give to the above 5 questions will determine if you move to step 4. So that, from start to finish, is my step 3 of the MRT program. And then I walk out of the room. The group comes to a decision as to whether I passed this step and are able to move on. I walk back into the room. They give me a round of applause. I bow because I passed, and now I move on to step 4, which I will be presenting to you next week. Hope that helps. Hope that gives you insight as to what this moral recognition therapy is all about, and hopefully, or maybe, it might be right for you in your current situation. Hope that helps. See you next week for step 4. Make it a great day.